Hey, folks, welcome back to another episode of the Average Joe podcast. My name is Joe Frushi, and today we're going to be talking about health and fitness, a topic that has been ingrained in my daily routine for the last, I want to say, 15 years, maybe a little longer, closer to 20 years, but definitely hardcore for 15 years. Growing up, I was always a skinny kid. I never, ever had to worry about watching what I was consuming. Working out wasn't really a thing. I always stayed lean, always stayed in shape. In high school, I had joined the track team for a little while, and then I came off the track team because I discovered girls in the internet, realized I'd rather be hanging out there than going to a track meet, essentially. But anyway, I had joined the army right after high school, and that's when I really, really became interested in health and fitness. I can remember doing my basic training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Running came fairly simple for me since I already was on the track team. And I remember we had to do a 2 mile run. Part of your PT test at the end. Actually, when you enter basic training, you do a 2 mile run, do some push ups and some sit ups. This was early 2000s US Army basic training. And I can remember my numbers were as they should be for an 18, 19-year-old at the time. They were fine. By the end of basic training, we're talking week 8 going into week 9. I can remember my final PT test scores. Within 2 minutes, I was able to bang out about 92, 93 push ups. Sit ups was about 75 or 76, if I remember correctly. And my 2 mile run was down to about 12 minutes flat. That's running 6 minute miles, which is pretty good. But that's also very common for a lot of 18, 19-year-olds. If you looked at the Army would break down their age groups 18 to 24, 24 to 29 or 30, and then so on and so forth. You would see different requirements for different age groups. And for my age group, I fell in uh, fairly above average bracket, more or less. So it just came easy for me. And being a light guy, uh, carrying my weight was not hard at all. I'm also a short guy, about 5'6, 5'7". So in doing push-ups, my range of motion was a bit less, which enabled me pretty much bang out more push-ups at a faster pace than guys who were taller and had longer range of motion. But then doing pull-ups, that's a different story. Anyway, when I came out of the military, I'm now in early going into my mid 20s, and I'd kind of fallen out of physical fitness, so to speak. I kind of fell into those bad habits and enjoying the comforts of home too much, enjoying your sweets, enjoying the pastas and all the bad food and whatnot. And then just the day-to-day lifestyle that most people live, I pretty much fell out of shape again. It was now 2007, 2008, and that's when I discovered P90X. And why I gravitated towards P90X. Now, mind you, I'd kind of been in and out of the gym at this time. I had a routine, then I didn't have a routine. I went for maybe 2 months and then I stopped going for a little bit. Finally, I decided I'm just going to get serious about this. And it was in the midst of a breakup with my girlfriend at the time. And necessity becomes the mother of all inventions, as they say. So I can remember it was this breakup that really pushed me to make some changes in my entire lifestyle. And one of them was physical fitness. I remember how good I felt after coming off a 2 mile run, which really isn't a lot, although running is not my thing today. But I felt great after doing a day's worth of PT in the military. So I decided let's make physical fitness a priority. And from that point forward, I was looking for the program that was going to be right for me, looking for a routine and a schedule that can fit the lifestyle I had at that time. At that time, I was working IT and cybersecurity in Manhattan. So I had early mornings and kind of late nights. You had to get there in the morning before most of the staff showed up. And then you pretty much stayed to the end when most of the staff was already gone. Any type of projects used to go into the late night hours, maybe into the early morning hours with migration and whatnot. Anyway, I found P90X. And what I loved about the P90X program is that it reminded me so much of what I did when I was in the military. A lot of it was calisthenics based. You could do a lot of it calisthenics based. I ended up getting some of the resistance bands. I ended up getting a pull up bar and getting a dip station. Um, and it was great. That's all you really needed. I did not have a gym membership for a while, and I did P90X straight for nearly 3 years, and I was in phenomenal shape. I'll give you some numbers here. My now remember, I'm about 5'6", 5'7", depending on the day. And I was weighing at that point at my heaviest about 182. After P90X, by the end of I did, let's see, it's a 90-day program. And I did two of them back to back. Essentially, I dropped from about in the 180s to about the 150s. And then by the end of my first year doing P90X, I dropped back into the 140s. And a lot of people tend to think that physical fitness is more about how much work you're putting in, lifting heavier. I need to go to the gym more. I need to spend 2 hours in the gym to really get that good workout. And I'll tell you, in my experience, and I think most will tell you, that's just not the case. You spend a good hour in the gym, and I don't even go every day. Now I go every other day, but a good hour in the gym of just consistently working out, tracking your progress, and progressively upping the weight that you're doing or upping the rep count, whatever it might be, however you choose to manipulate weight versus reps, you're going to get a great workout. But I also noticed when you look at the P90X meal plan, I then realized at that moment how important nutrition truly is. As I was getting to my mid to late 20s, my metabolism was beginning to change. My body was beginning to change, and I was no longer burning off calories and body fat the way I did in my teens. It was just different. So from that, I realized the meal program at P90X is really honing in on something. And at the end of this whole program, I realized 80% of health and fitness is nutrition. And from that point forward, I truly, truly took an interest in what I was going to be consuming on a daily basis. And I want to reference a video I just recently watched from Mr. David Zaritsky over at the Bond Experience. And he's got a great channel. I highly recommend you guys go over there and check it out. He talks about all things James Bond, living the Bond lifestyle without breaking the bank and kind of living it as it aligns to your lifestyle. But one thing he talks about that I'm a huge fan of and that I really respect from his channel is getting into Bond shape. Now, David Zaritsky had this channel for about a little over 10 years now. I think he's going into year 11 pretty soon. And I can remember watching his channel early on where he would do these Bond fitness challenges. And as I was kind of coming out of my third year of P90X, I found his channel. And that's when I decided, okay, P90X is great. I love it, but kind of getting bored of it. I want to do something different. And from this, I took some cues from Mr. Zaritsky. It was pretty cool. And I said, all right, let me take what he's doing. Let me take what I've done with P90X. Let me do some more research and kind of build out a program that is going to take me from where I'm at coming off P90X and really getting me to the goals I really, really wanted, which was a little more muscle mass, lean muscle mass. And I said, okay, what can I do to build more muscle, at the same time remain lean, not get, a dirty bulk or something like that, where I'm putting on more body fat than I'd be happy with, that my frame can really sustain. So I decided, all right, here's what I'm going to do. And I started looking at, let's go back to a gym and let's start with the basics. Perfect 5x5 routine. The 5x5 routine is what I still do today, and it works great. What I love about it is you're hitting all the major muscle groups, which is a great, great thing. And you are going to see gains. I don't really like to isolate too much with my muscle with my working out because I feel I'm not competing. So to really do all these isolation movements, it wasn't really for me. I liked pretty much hitting full body. I do the gym about 3 days a week. I'm going to give you two routines that I bounce back and forth every 2 months or so that I found work the best for me. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to jump into what my daily meal or you know calorie intake would be, so you guys can get an example of what I'm doing every day, both in terms of fitness as well as nutrition. So the first thing I like to do is the 5 by 5 split. So when I'm coming into the gym on a Monday, I'm going to step in to bench press. I'm going to do 5 reps for 5 sets. And what I will pack on as much weight as I can just to get that fifth rep out, where I'm kind of struggling on those last couple reps for the last couple sets. That's when I know I'm really hitting chest very well. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to jump into back and do some pull downs. Again, 5 reps or 5 sets. Now, if you can't do pull downs, you could do some pull ups and attach weight to yourself. You could always attach those gym belts, chain, and then hooking the weight into it also works very well. Then I'll jump into some shoulder presses for 5 reps, 5 sets. I'll either do a shoulder press or an Arnold press, which is also very good. And then I'll do some squats, 5 sets, 5 reps. In fact, most of the time when I jump into the gym, I usually start with squats. Now, lately, I've been going much lighter on squats. I tweaked my lower back a couple years ago. And from that point forward, I said, let me be pretty careful with what I'm going to be doing in terms of anything with lower back or legs. So that's Monday. On Wednesday, I'll come in and instead of doing bench press, I'll jump into an incline or a decline press. From there, 5 sets, 5 reps. Once I'm done with that, I'll jump into seated or bent over rows. In seated rows, kind of doing a nice cable exercise. Um, Always go for free weights first. And if there's too crowded in the free weight area and you're pressed for time, then jump into cables. But I would prefer a bent over row with a dumbbell. Again, 5 sets, 5 reps. After that, I'll jump into shoulders again and I'll do some front and lateral raises, 5 reps, 5 sets. And then I'll do some body weight squats this time around. And I pretty much do those to failure. If I want to get one more thing in for that day, maybe I'll do some dips or I'll do some body weight pull ups. That's about it. Friday, I go back and I do what I did on Monday. I'll jump back into bench press. I'll jump back into pull downs or pull ups. I'll jump back into shoulder presses or Arnold presses. And then I'll squat with some weight. And then I'll finish it off with either, body weight dips, body weight pull ups or something, or chin ups, something more body weight focused. And then just kind of go to failure on that. That's it. I'll take the weekend off. And on Monday, I'll pick up with what I did on Wednesday. So you see, I'm kind of bouncing from doing chest, bench to incline or decline, and then back to bench, then back to incline or decline, back to bench. And it works great for me. I love it. Now I'll do that for about 6 weeks, maybe 2 months, depending on what's going on in life. And then I'll jump into a full body split. So what I liked about the P90X routine was every 3 weeks they would change it to kind of keep the body guessing. So I kind of do that here. But remember, as I'm in the gym with each routine, I'm incrementally increasing the weight. So I'm getting a little more resistance. And every time I come off of one routine, like a 5 by 5 split, I'm going to jump into what's called a full body split. And I'll start with low reps. And over the course of the next 6 weeks to 2 months, build up into a higher weight. So I'll start with low weight, higher reps. And then as I'm progressing, I'll increase the weight and decrease the reps. And what I'll do is on a Monday, come in with bench press, some pull downs or pull ups. And I'll jump into incline press. And I'll jump into some seated rows. I'll do some weighted chest dips. Then I'll do some chin ups and then some squats. That's on Monday. So I'm doing chest and back. On Wednesday, I'll jump into shoulders, bis, and tris. And I'll do shoulder presses, bicep curls, bicep pull downs, an Arnold press, maybe some hammer curls, tricep kickback, then some front and lateral raises. Wednesday is rest. Thursday, I'm going to repeat Monday schedule. And Friday, I repeat Tuesday schedule. And then Saturday and Sunday will be my rest days. And you're thinking, what are you doing on your rest days? Well, I love being out and about. So what I love to do is I average about 15 to 20,000 steps a day. And on my rest days, I make it a point to just throw in my AirPods, go for a really long walk, maybe put a weighted backpack on or some ankle weights and just walk. Breathing exercises are great. Enjoying the podcast I'd be listening to. Hopefully, you're listening to the Average Joe podcast if you choose to take this up. And before you know it, after a couple hours of walking, I've now gotten in my 15 to 20,000 steps for the day. I know a lot of people, I'm a teacher, so a lot of people I work with try to aim for about 5,000. And I just said, nope, I want to go more. I want to get blood flow and I want to get the heart rate increasing a little bit. And, maybe during the day I'll go for a walk without the weights, but after my workday in the evening, I'll have maybe before I eat, I'll go for my walk for a couple hours, the ankle weights or backpack weight, and really get that heart rate up and get the steps in. So that's what I do. And that's my journey into fitness. I currently weigh about 151 pounds. I wear 29 to 30 waist jeans. I have a nice little V frame going on. And when I post this, I'll post before and after pictures of what I used to look like before I found P90X versus what I look like now, which you could just see the progress. And I'm very happy with the progress. And I feel great. Looking great is fine, but you got to feel great as well. If you don't feel good, you got to ask yourself, how healthy are you? Okay, so that's training, but let's talk about nutrition. What am I putting into my body? So, first things first, I'll give you my vitamin and supplement intake. What I start with in the morning is I'll start with my multivitamin, and I prefer a vitamin from organically made whole food vitamin, easily absorbable by the body, and you're not peeing out a lot of those vitamins. I'll do a separate 5,000 IUs of vitamin D. I do 100 milligrams of vitamin K2, MK7. I also throw in a small amount of vitamin K2, MK4. I'm hearing the research I'm seeing says it's nice to get both variants in. From there, I'll throw in an omega-3 fish oil. I throw in a little extra vitamin C, and I throw in some calcium, magnesium, and zinc. Healthy bones, healthy teeth. So that's my supplement in the morning. Now, what does my routine look like in terms of eating? Well, I wake up usually 5 in the morning and go to the gym. Those are my training days. Home by 6, 6:15, and then I'll make my morning shake, which will consist of a quarter cup of oatmeal, 1 cup of almond milk, whey protein, and 5 milligrams of creatine. Now, I take creatine daily, and it is the most researched supplement in the world. And they're finding beyond, when I say they, those that have researched this. And those that have researched this sat at Harvard, sat at Cornell. These are real deal academic studies, not just some bro science you're seeing off YouTube. But I throw in some creatine because of the benefits it has when you're working out, but also benefits it has with cognitive function and whatnot. It is one of those supplements that crosses the blood-brain barrier. So I throw in creatine in there. And that's essentially my morning shake. I blend that up, down it, and I'm great for the next couple hours. Maybe if I want to bulk up a little more, I'll throw a scoop of peanut butter in there, but most of the time, not so much. So in the mid-morning, that's at, let's say, 6:30 in the morning, probably by 9:30, 10 o'clock, I'll have about 3 or 4 hard-boiled eggs. And I'm getting a more protein intake. I'm getting a nice vitamin and supplement count as well from the eggs. And I feel good for the next 2, 3 hours. After that, I'm going to have some lunch. And what I'll do is usually have an 8-ounce chicken breast, one small medium potato or maybe a one small sweet potato, and I'm good for lunch. After lunch, a couple hours, I'll have a little snack. I usually have a banana or an apple, midday snack, and I'm feeling great. By dinner time, this is where I'm going to have a larger meal. And what I like to do is have a nice sized portion of ground beef, which is 95% lean. I'll throw in one slice of low fat cheese, maybe throw in a slice of bread, throw in about 2 cups of rice, and this usually brown rice. And I'll have a scoop out of that. And I'll have some broccoli or some spinach or some green beans. Get the vegetables in. And that's it. And then at nighttime, I'll have a nice cup of tea, kind of settle the stomach, and I'm feeling good. The supplements I'll take in the evening, separate from what I took in the morning, is I will take some turmeric. I'll take a probiotic, and that's much. Oh, and I'll do some magnesium citrate, about 400 milligrams of magnesium citrate, and I'm feeling great after that. And the next morning, I'll get up and on a rest day, I'll repeat my dietary needs. But again, nutrition and fitness have become a lifestyle. I know some people, it's after the new year, and the minute the new year hits, gyms are flooded with people. And I like to call them the new year newbies because they're gone within 3 weeks to a month. They're gone. And these are people that think, oh, it's a New Year's resolution. I'm going to jump in, work out. It'll be great for the summer. And then they fall off. And then you get those people who it's now June. And what they love to do is, oh, I'm going to get in shape for the summer. And I'm going to start working out in June. That doesn't work either. You want abs, if you want nice lean body, good muscle tone, good fitness, all of that starts in the wintertime and it starts in the kitchen. So make sure that your dietary needs are met. Make sure you're getting quality workout time in the gym. Do not breeze through a workout. I see a lot of people when they're lifting, they lift heavy and they lift fast. The wrong way to do it. I like to lift slow. Regardless of the weight that I have on, I like to go slow, practice your breathing, get your range of motion right. And that is going to equal a really, really good workout. And trust me, the results will show. Now, it takes time. Not everyone's going to get in shape within just a couple of weeks. But what I like to do is I prefer heavier lifting in the fall and winter months. And when the spring rolls around, I tend to reduce the weight load just a little bit. So I go for more of that leaner body for spring and summer. And I try and go a little heavier and bulk up a little more in the fall and winter. But ultimately, you have to find the routine that's going to work best for you. The best thing is just start working out. Doesn't matter what you do, just start somewhere. And I'll post my 5x5 and full body split routines so you guys can take a look, and I'll post a sample meal plan that I use that hopefully if you like it, try it. If it works for you, great. If not, there's going to be something out there that will work for you. Different people react to different things, but the best advice I can give you is just start. And if you can, go over to the Bond Experience and check out Mr. David Zaritsky's video on working out. He is a man in his mid 50s now, and he is in phenomenal shape. And the fact that he's in such phenomenal shape, as his body is getting older, it becomes harder. So what he's doing is working perfectly for him. And he's also evidence that you're never too old to be in shape. So go over, check it out. I hope you listen to this podcast. Hope you guys enjoy it. Stay tuned for our next episode. And thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time. My name is Joe Frushi for the Average Joe podcast, hoping to keep you educated and informed. Thank you.